What if I told you that the gap between the wealthy and the average person isn't just about how much money they make, but how they think about money and structure their lives? In 2026, the wealthy no longer simply work for money. They've mastered how to design their environment to resist the convenience economy. While the average person is often a consumer in a high-speed digital system, the rich are the architects of that system. In this video, I'll walk you through the top 5 money decisions that separate the rich from the average. Stay tuned until the end to learn how you can start implementing these decisions today to build your wealth. 1. Buying appreciating time versus depreciating convenience. In the 2026 economy, the biggest differentiator between rich and average people isn't about earning more money. It's how they spend their time. While average people often spend money on convenience, like ordering food delivery for a small amount of time saved, rich people make strategic decisions to buy back large blocks of their time. They hire specialized virtual assistants, pay for private transit, or even outsource tasks that they could technically do themselves. This enables them to focus on high-value activities, such as acquiring new skills, engaging in deep work, or brainstorming new business ideas. To the wealthy, time is seen as a non-renewable resource, something that can never be regained. They understand the concept of time having a variable ROI, recognizing that spending their time on high-leverage activities will yield far greater returns than the temporary satisfaction of minor conveniences. In contrast, average people often undervalue their time and trade it away for conveniences that only offer short-term relief. The rich calculate how much time they can reclaim and allocate it toward endeavors that yield high returns, whether that's intellectual growth business ventures or building passive income streams. The wealthy understand that by leveraging others' time, whether it's through hiring experts or using systems and technologies designed to save time, they can multiply their own. For example, instead of wasting hours on administrative tasks or daily chores, the rich would rather delegate those responsibilities so they can spend their time acquiring knowledge, making strategic decisions, or nurturing important relationships that move their wealth-building efforts forward. They invest in systems and services that automate or expedite tasks that don't require their personal expertise or presence. When you prioritize your time and view it as the most valuable asset, you stop settling for conveniences that don't serve your long-term goals. Instead, you spend your money on tools and services that give you more time to focus on building wealth. This mindset shift is crucial for breaking out of the cycle of being a consumer of time-saving services and stepping into the role of someone who consciously engineers time into their favor, turning it into a resource that works for them. 2. The owner versus user philosophical shift. When a new technology, platform, or tool comes to market, there's a distinct difference in how rich and average people approach it. Average people often ask, "How can I use this?" They're consumers, paying subscription fees for software, platforms, and services that only serve their immediate needs. They engage with technology in a transactional manner, justifying their purchases based on how they solve current problems or provide temporary conveniences. However, they rarely consider the long-term impact of these technologies on their wealth or financial position. Meanwhile, the wealthy ask, "How can I own a piece of this?" Rich people look for opportunities to hold equity, tokens, or fractional shares in emerging technologies or businesses. Rather than simply being users of new innovations, they seek to become participants in the financial upside of these platforms. They actively position themselves as stakeholders, aligning their interests with the growth of the technology. This mindset allows them to capitalize on the exponential growth of new platforms, whether through dividends, appreciation of asset value, or equity stakes in growing companies. The wealth-building advantage here is clear. When a new SaaS platform or AI tool emerges, the rich don't just pay to use it. They consider how they can purchase shares or equity in the company behind it, or buy tokens tied to the technology's future success. They see this as an investment in a future asset, one that can grow in value over time, much like real estate or stocks. Instead of paying monthly subscription fees, they make strategic investments that align with the growth trajectory of a platform or service. This owner mindset doesn't just apply to technology. It extends to other emerging industries as well. The wealthy understand the power of owning a stake in the next big thing, whether it's in digital infrastructure, biotech, or AI-driven enterprises. By investing in the infrastructure that supports these technologies, they ensure that their money works for them long after the technology has become mainstream. This shift is what allows the rich to continually grow their wealth, regardless of what technologies emerge. 3. Systematizing involuntary wealth growth. For the average person, saving money can often feel like an afterthought. The typical approach is to spend first and save whatever is left at the end of the month. Unfortunately, in the world of one-click purchases, this strategy leads to little or no savings and missed opportunities for wealth growth. The wealthy, on the other hand, systematize their wealth building by automating the process. They set up involuntary savings systems that automatically allocate 20 to 50% of every deposit into investments before they ever hit their spending accounts. Rich people treat their future self as the most aggressive bill collector. They don't wait until the end of the month to see if there's anything left to invest. Instead, they prioritize wealth building by setting up smart contracts, automated sweeps, or high-interest savings accounts that direct their money into investment opportunities the moment it enters their account. This strategy ensures that they're constantly building wealth, whether they're paying themselves first with savings or taking advantage of opportunities like dollar cost averaging into stock portfolios. This is a prime example of the pay-yourself-first mentality taken to the next level. Wealth accumulation is no longer a passive activity. It's a part of the system they've built into their financial life. 4. Concentrated knowledge versus generalist stagnation. In the 2026 world, specialized knowledge is one of the most valuable assets. While the average person follows broad, general financial advice, the rich understand that true wealth building comes from concentrated, niche expertise. They invest in specialized micro-mentorships, niche certifications, and exclusive training programs to become top 1% experts in their fields. For example, rich people invest in knowledge areas that are both highly specialized and in demand. Fields like AI law, biotech logistics, or data privacy for emerging markets. Rather than being a good generalist, they focus on becoming the best in a specific niche. This approach allows them to earn exponentially more than those who take a broad, one-size-fits-all approach to career development. In a world where AI and automation are rapidly shifting industries, being a specialist in a high demand, niche field pays much more than being a generalist. The wealthy aren't just looking for good opportunities. They create them by investing in skills and knowledge that have little competition and offer high financial rewards. 5. Using debt as a magnifier rather than a crutch. Debt is often seen as a tool of last resort for average people, something used by consumer goods they can't afford today, like cars or electronics. However, rich people use debt strategically to build wealth. Rather than using high-interest debt to finance depreciating assets, they borrow at low interest rates to buy income-generating assets. This could include taking on a 4% mortgage to purchase rental property that generates 8% returns, or using debt to leverage investment opportunities in the stock market or businesses that will provide greater returns than the interest they owe. The wealthy understand the concept of using debt as a magnifier for wealth, using it to amplify their ability to acquire assets that produce income, whether through rental income, dividends, or capital gains. They don't fear debt, but instead use it as a strategic tool to accelerate wealth accumulation. On the other hand, average people often fall into the trap of using debt to buy consumer goods that provide no return, which is why high-interest debt becomes a burden rather than a tool for growth. There you have it. The top 5 money decisions that separate the rich and average people in 2026. From buying appreciating time to leveraging debt for growth. These are the key strategies that the wealthy use to build lasting wealth and separate themselves from the average. By adopting these mindset shifts and strategies, you can start to architect your own financial success. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tips on building wealth in today's rapidly changing world. Let me know in the comments which money decision you're going to implement first, and I'll see you in the next video.